The engines love working when the sun shines. One day, Thomas and Percy were helping Salty at the docks. But Salty was worried.
It may be sunny now, matey, but there be a storm coming.
He sure doesn't look that worried based off of that expression just shown. But what do I know? Maybe Salty finds it exciting because he's such a sea dog. I'll tell you what though, while Welk and Hartshorn haven't produced as many catchy themes, I can hear them trying for Salty. But hey, I'll gladly take it. Unfortunately for Salty, he wasn't happy later when he found out Percy and Thomas were mimicking the way he spoke.
He felt sad. Later, Sir Topham had arrived. "I want you to fetch Fergus from the smelter's yard," he said. "His driver doesn't know the line."
Aye, aye, sir,
replied Salty sadly.
Well, at least Salty was given a job to get his mind off of things. I don't know why Salty would let Thomas and Percy's cheekiness get the better of him, though. Would he feel the same way if the trucks did that? He doesn't seem to mind their tricks. I guess he takes it more personally since he considers Thomas and Percy friends, whom Emily overheard and decided to do something about.
"Those be dark clouds, matey. There be a fierce storm on the way, Captain," peeped Percy. Emily was cross. "It's not nice to copy the way others speak. You hurt Salty's feelings." "We were just having fun," said Percy. "We'll say sorry to him."
So that's twice now Emily has stepped in for others. You know, for the first of her kind to be on Sodor, she is really making herself known, and for the right reasons. And as it turned out, Thomas and Percy couldn't find Salty because he was away on Top Hat's latest job. And lo and behold, the weather was beginning to change too, just as Salty predicted.
Fergus was waiting for Salty when he arrived at the smelters. "Right on time," congratulated Fergus.
Aye, but there's a storm coming,
said Salty.
"We must hurry."
Soon they were hooked up and on their way home.
Oh, I'm sure Fergus was very pleased with Salty's timeliness. Doing it right, of course. That's because Salty is one heck of a diesel. The weather also became one heck of a storm, too. Very similar to that of the one from Cranky Bugs. Except this time, Sodor had that iconic lighthouse to help. Or so everyone thought.
Now there was trouble. "The lighthouse lamp has gone out!" cried the captain.
Okay, so Cranky better get ready to fall over again. I mean, this is not good. Without a lighthouse, that ship can say goodbye to all its crew members, the cargo, and anything that's in its way. However, it just so happened Fergus and Salty were passing by. Not like they could do anything. I mean, what could they possibly do to help?
Salty had an idea.
"Fergus has a flywheel. It could power the generator."
"Hurry!" shouted the lighthouse keeper. Fergus's flywheel was attached to the generator shaft. Without the lighthouse, the ship was steaming towards the rocks.
Well, gosh, oh golly. This would have been perfect if Trevor was headed that way, too. No, waiting for Trevor to arrive would have been like waiting for a tree to grow in one day. But Salty's quick thinking truly was a bright idea, pardon the pun. Not only did Fergus get the lighthouse lit again, but in enough time to steer the ship away. It was such a great save, Salty and Fergus got a surprise visit the next morning from the very same crew on the ship. Even Top Hat, Percy, and Thomas were there.
"We're sorry if we hurt your feelings," puffed Thomas. "We were only copying you because we think you're grand."
"Then say no more, me hearties,"
replied Salty happily. Now they will all work together and have fun together, as good friends should.
Bravo! This was a very good episode, and probably a soft spot for me since I enjoy Salty so much. Salty has had other scenes throughout the show since his introduction, but he's only had one other story revolving around him, and that was his first story. So seeing him get more screen time was great. That and using Fergus to help in a critical situation was smart too. As for Emily, bless our sterling engine. She's been very thoughtful and caring for other engines, and that's a trait someone should not find to be bad. And as for Thomas and Percy, it was nice to see them apologize and explain themselves. It's one thing to be mimicking someone out of flattery, but another to do it behind their back. Thankfully, Salty didn't go over to the dark side. Ooh. The overall use of lesser main characters was just really balanced in this story. The locations to this entry were not abundant, but we did get more detail on certain places. For one, this is probably one of the few times we visit Brendam Docks without Cranky's input on a discussion. We also saw Tidmouth Beach, and finally a close-up on the plateau where the lighthouse rests. Yes, we have seen it in prior seasons, but this episode certainly gave us a fresh zoom-in on the spot. As for music, I was mildly surprised by the effort Welk and Hartshorn put in for this. While it's not Salty's original theme, they do keep in the accordion. There was also a small snippet of Emily's theme in this episode, and the music played while the ship headed towards shore was well done too. Not gonna lie, they're getting there. Keep working on it, guys. Next episode is Snow Engine. Thanks for watching.